Vocabulary review. A complex fraction is a fraction with another fraction in the numerator, denominator, or both. Here's some examples. 5 divided by 1/2, 3/4 divided by 7, 1/8 divided by 6/11. The reciprocal is the inverse of a number/fraction that is obtained by switching the numerator and denominator of a fraction. If your original number is 1/2, your reciprocal is 2. You can also think of 2 as being 2 over 1. So you just swap the numerator and denominator. Here we have 4, which is also known as 4 over 1. The reciprocal becomes 1 over 4. And here we have 7 over 9. The reciprocal is 9 over 7. The product of an original number and its reciprocal is 1. So if you take 7 over 9 and multiply it by 9 over 7, then we can cross-cancel all of it. And this all just becomes 1. Do you notice a pattern between the division of fractions and their solution? Well, we have an 8 and a 2, and the answer is 16. And here we have 2 and a 3, and the answer is 6. Here we have 3 as the answer, and 3 in here. Maybe these 4's cancel somehow. I definitely see a pattern forming, though. If you think about it, we are dividing by a fraction, which creates a complex fraction. You need to eliminate the fraction in the denominator in order to solve the problem. To do this, multiply the numerator and denominator of the complex fraction by the reciprocal of the denominator, and that makes the denominator equal to 1. You can then simplify the fraction by rewriting it without the denominator of 1 and solve the new multiplication problem. Alright, so if we have 1/2 divided by 2/3, this can be written as 1/2 divided by 2/3 vertically. Then we just multiply each of these pieces, 1/2 and the denominator 2/3, by the reciprocal of the denominator here, 3 over 2. So you're multiplying the top by 3 over 2 and the bottom by 3 over 2. Then these cancel completely, and the denominator just becomes 1, but the top leaves you with 1/2 times the reciprocal of the bottom, 3 over 2, and then you can just write it without this 1 on the bottom. So then that just becomes your new problem. There are rules that can be applied to fraction division problems to eliminate steps from this lengthy procedure. This algorithm is going to make things a lot simpler. Step 1, leave the first fraction the same. Step 2, multiply the first fraction by the reciprocal of the second fraction. Step 3 is simplify. So if we have 1/5 divided by 1/2, we simply change this division sign to a multiple sign and then multiply by the reciprocal of the second fraction. So instead of dividing by 1/2, you multiply by 2 over 1. Then you just multiply through and simplify. So you have 1 times 2 gives you 2, 5 times 1 gives you 5, so the answer is 2/5. Some people use the saying, keep, change, flip, to help them to remember the algorithm. So you have the two fractions with the division sign. You keep this the same, so that remains the same. You change the sign from division to multiplication, and then you flip the second fraction. So it was 7/8, now it's 8 over 7. Then you just solve as usual. 3 times 8 gives you 24, 5 times 7 gives you 35. Evaluate. 2/3 divided by 5/7. We keep 2/3 as is. We change the division to a multiplication, and then we flip the second fraction to 7/5. Then we just solve. 2 times 7 gives us 14. 3 times 5 gives us 15. So the answer is 14/15. To check your answer, use your knowledge of fact families. 3/5 divided by 7/8 gives us 24/35. Therefore, 3 over 5 equals 7/8 times 24 over 35. 3/5 is 7/8 of 24 over 35.